How's it going, everybody? From Enter I Was Outdoors Land, Martin coming at you from the kitchen today. And we're going to go over a few of the specs and features of the 3D Creative Concepts Ice Shuttle and Pole. So let me get this down off of the table, or off the counter. We'll put it down on the table, we'll start getting close-ups, and we'll talk about all the neat features of this shuttle. Alright, everybody, now that we're a little bit closer up and on the table now, we'll go over a couple of the cool little features that that come with this. I mean, it's a pretty standard shuttle if you're just looking at it, but there are a couple things about this that make it kind of unique. One of the things I do like about it the most is that it has the ability to stow your pole right there on the very top. So real quick, we'll talk about the pole. This is the Silver Series pole that he has, and this thing is in there pretty good in there. So we'll take that off, we'll pull that back. Now, here's the cool part about this pole. It's got a quick detach. So you take this pole, you set it up the way you want it as far as the orientation is concerned, and with that, you just kind of move this around, this very top piece around a little bit, to where if you have this pointing up, your handle, and you're moving it around, you have your pole set up so that it's pointing, well, your transducer set up so that it's pointing in the way your transducer is pointing. So this kind of acts as a little arrow to show you where it's pointing. Some people point it in the opposite direction, so that now it's pointing the opposite way that your transducer's pointed. You could do either or. The other cool thing is you can take this completely detaches from the pole. It isn't always strictly on the pole, your transducer. So you take your transducer, you clip it in, and now you adjust the way you want it. So now it's facing away. So when you put this on the ice, you know which way your pole or your transducer is oriented when you're turning it. Also, this will allow you to go into perspective mode. If you're in shallow water, you can look around in perspective mode. You can also go back into down mode, which is like that, or you can just turn this little crank a couple little times, flip it up, and now you're in forward mode. This is the Silver Series pole, which is not the best pole that they make. The best is the Black Series pole, but the big difference between the two is this has one extension, where the black pole has two, so you can make it even longer than what it is now, which is at about, I don't know, pretty close to 4 feet. Remember, also, you can adjust this, run it all the way down to here, and now you have the full extension of 4 feet. I mean, in Iowa, we rarely get 4 feet of ice, so it really doesn't matter for us. I mean, you can run the Silver Series in Iowa. If you go a little farther north where they get feet of ice, you might want to go to the Black Series pole. So we can collapse it down. Oh, spun it the wrong way there. Yep, we can collapse it down, put our legs down, put our handle down, and then just squeeze this, give it a little twist, and boom, there's your transducer. Your transducer comes off. You can give it a wrap. I like to stow it right here behind my unit, and then take your pole, pull these legs out just a little bit, cinch it down into the top, and now you've got everything stowed away nice and perfect. The other cool thing about this is there's slots right here. You can run Velcro through them, so when you pick up the entire unit, you don't have to worry about your pole coming off. So you can just run a little Velcro through there, pick it up, and take off with it. All right, so let's set the camera up again a little better, and we'll work our way back around. This side is pretty neat because he installed a on-off switch. So this on-off switch, you want one of these on your unit because you can turn your graph off. That's great, but there still will be power running to your GLS-10 black box, which can deplete your battery if you leave it over time, unless you install a complete cutoff switch, which is right there. That supplies no more power to the to any of the units or the GLS-10, and it'll make sure that it doesn't drain your nice lithium-ion battery. The other thing I did was I personally installed a small voltmeter right there that's also connected to the battery that will tell me the amount of volts that I have in my 15 amp hour LiPo battery. Also, here is where the GLS-10 box connects, or it mounts to. He also installed 2 rod holders, which are kind of nice. I don't really use these much to carry my rods around in. What I use them for mostly is, let's say you're on the ice, you hook a fish, you don't want to set your rod down in the slush that you created next to you in your hole. So, or else if you pick it up again, it'll start to freeze and go wacky on you. So what you want to do is, you can take it, set it in one of those rod holders, unhook your fish, release your fish or throw them in the bucket, then pick your rod back up, and you're back to fishing again without a slushy reel or a frozen reel. That's what I use these for. If you notice, I did it kind of in yellow and black, mostly because I wanted it to match my auger and a couple other things that I wanted it to match with. So he can do any color that you want. He can help you customize things. He can put a glow cup in here too for you guys that like to run those UV glow jigs and things like that too. So this side is completely bare. It leaves so much room for more accessories and other things. The other cool about this whole system in general, that without this pole attached to the very top, it will fit in an XL Summit bag. So you guys that are big Summit fans, or you guys that want to be able to put stuff in a bag as opposed to just having a bare shuttle and carting it around the ice, that will actually help you. It's perfect size for a shuttle or for a Summit bag. And then bring it around to the front. I mean, I have a 93 SV, and with that 15 amp hour battery, when I was up in North Dakota in 5-degree temps, I was getting 9 hours out of that 15 amp hour battery. So you're getting plenty of room, plenty of space to put a larger battery in there too. I would try to make it longer and not taller, just because of the way that these are connected. I could probably get maybe that much more left out of it, but that's it. That's about all the farther I'd be able to get with it. So yes, the battery does sit pretty close to the ice, but it is shielded from the ice down here on the bottom. What most people will do is they'll run Velcro straps through this to attach the battery to the shuttle, or to keep it in place, to keep it from wandering its way around while you're going around on the ice. But what I did is I used a little bit of glue, a very small amount of glue, so I can actually break it loose and take the battery out if I need to. But I used a very small bead of glue right there, and that's basically holding that battery in place, and it's in there pretty tight. So that is the 3D Creative Concepts shuttle. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys will go and talk to him and pick one of these up. He is an Iowa company. He's out of Eldridge, Iowa. He let me go and actually pick this up as opposed to having it shipped, because I wanted him to explain a few of the features to me, so that I could make this video for you guys a little bit bigger, a little bit better of a close-up. We'll come in and we'll look at some of this stuff here just real quick. It is 3D printed and bolted together. Here's where your transducer cable wraps around. That's your cable management system. Also down here you have room to put an LED strip and put a switch on this side over here for an LED strip, if you like to have an LED strip down there pointing down at your hole. Like I said, plenty of room over on this side for more accessories. And then bring it on back around to the other side. One of the other things I did personally is I added just a plug and play charger. So I've got a 3 amp charger that I can plug this into. It charges it from a completely dead battery all the way up to full in about 5 hours. But that's for a completely dead battery. If I just deplete it a little bit, it doesn't take long for a 3 amp. With these LiPo batteries, you have to run a little bit higher amperage than your standard Vexilar lead acid battery chargers on them. So I went with a 3 amp, so it wouldn't take long, but it wouldn't take forever. So there's the back end. And again, coming back around to the other side, this little gauge or voltmeter, I just JB welded it on there, and I clamped it, and I held it overnight, and that thing's on there. It ain't going anywhere. All right, and then a little bit more of a closer look at the pole there. And there's that clip system, that quick detach. You can just give it a pull or give it a push, and it detaches. Makes everything real simple, real easy. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little review. Please contact him at 3D Creative Concepts on Facebook. If I can find one of his, let's see if I can find his little sticker. There it is. That's his decal that he puts on all these shuttles. Contact him on Facebook. If you guys want to, if you Iowans especially want to support an Iowa company, this is the shuttle for you guys. Total, this cost me about $225. So, not the battery, not the extra little gauge, but just the shuttle cost me about $225. So, if you guys want a cheaper way to get into a shuttle, there you go.